Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on one of our Spend Your Kids' Inheritance chats. My name is Horvat, I'm the composer of this musical, and I'm sitting here with Tara Baxendale, a fabulous actor and singer, and a beautiful human being as well, who is part of our cast bringing this show to life. So I want to thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here. So Tara is playing an important character in our show named Tanya.
Or Tanya.
Tanya, that's right. Thank you, Tara, for explaining Tanya's name. That's right. And certain characters are calling her Tanya, so it's a little confusing for me too, sitting there in rehearsals. So anyway, Tanya is I don't know what we call her, caregiver at the Alpine Retirement Home.
A caregiver or an administrator or a director. Yeah.
Very interesting, a very interesting character. She's basically, her job in a nutshell is to look out for our four seniors, our protagonists in our story, and so we, just sitting in the rehearsals watching you play Tanya, it's sort of a weird vibe. Tanya is not evil, but she's a little, I guess, patronizing a bit, to them. She's a stickler for detail and the rules and everything being done properly. Yeah. So how do you, what's your impressions of her? What do we as an audience want to get from this character?
Yeah, my impressions about Tanya, well, she is somebody I think who's very driven by routine and very, I think she wants to help people. I think she absolutely wants to help people, but I think she's the kind of person that she wants to help people in the way that what she thinks is best for them, and not necessarily what might. She's not as good as being able to be where people are at, and so helping them the way that they might want to be helped.
I think she's stressed too.
Yes, definitely she's stressed. I think she's got a lot on her plate. I suspect that the jobs that she has to do there is not commensurate with her salary. I feel like she's overworked, underpaid.
Probably, which is the reality. And that's what I love about our show, is that I think it does reflect a lot of what's going on in society right now. So, we're cheering for the seniors and we want them to have their independence too, but there's a part of me that's also cheering for someone like Tanya, because you can see how she's just trying to do her best. Right?
Well, I think there's a huge gap between what she's able to do and what she would like to do in a perfect world.
Right.
And the funding and the resources simply aren't there.
Absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know Tara, she is quite awesome as far as her professional CV goes. She's got a lot of stuff going on. She's been in a lot of great shows, and just getting to know her in the past week and learn more about her is her and I have a sort of a unique connection in our musical upbringing, in that we are both classically trained musicians. You studied classical voice.
I did, at Acadia University.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Good school.
Great school, great music program.
And yeah, for sure.
Do my little plug there.
And I went to U of T, so they're a good plug for them as well. And, but one thing that, I guess we are doing in our professional life is we are going outside of the lines of our sort of upbringing, right? You've been working in musical theater for a long time, which is not the same type of thing as a classical voice program, and for myself too, working in a lot of genres and so forth. So, talk to me a little bit about, for you as a singer and as an actor, what are some of the big things that have helped you because you had that classical training, that have given you the tools to excel, that you feel like, this has really given me a leg up in working in musical theater and other genres other than classical, and maybe some of the impediments, opposite.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm endlessly grateful for the fact that I had really great voice teachers who gave me a really solid vocal technique and foundation, and so that allows me to manipulate my voice and do things which and you know, I have a good range and I have a good strong voice, and so it allows me to do things that aren't always maybe the healthiest, like sing in a certain way if we want to achieve a certain technique,
Right.
vocal technique.
Yeah.
Or it lets me, I do a lot of Christmas caroling in seniors' homes, actually,
wow.
so that lets
Isn't that
me...
ironic?
Yeah, so I end up singing 7-8 hour days in December, and I think I'm able to do that because of that classical training that I had.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then oppositely, how about some of the things that maybe classical singers might traditionally, like when you first started doing a lot of musical theater, it was just like, oh, I've got to stop thinking this way, like what I was learning.
Yeah, it was tough. I wanted to sing everything, and so that direction sometimes of, do it more spoken, I'd be just like, I can sing these notes, why don't you want me to sing them, why don't you want me to make them pretty?
Do you mean recitative secco? Accompagnato when you say speaking?
I can recite, I can do that. But for me, I think I knew by my senior recital that for me singing, it's another way of telling a story, and I love telling stories in classical music. But the thing is, so much of it is about the text for me, and so much of the time in classical music, the text is not in English, and so it's a different way of telling a story. If everybody in my audience isn't hearing those words and understanding those words, a translation and a program can only do so much. So I felt very limited in my ability to really communicate the stories that I wanted to tell in classical music.
That's a really great way to put it. I do agree with that a lot. So we've been rehearsing this for a little bit.
Yep.
Now you're starting to feel for your character, but the show in general.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping when audiences get a chance to see our show? What are some of the takeaways you're hoping that they're going to get?
Well, one of the things that I really love about the show, and one of the reasons I was really excited to work on it, is that it's a show that tells the stories of older adults.
Right.
And these older adults are getting to have stories, and they're getting to have adventures, and they're getting to have maybe find new love, and you know, as society we seem to think, especially with women's stories, that they end at 30.
That's crazy.
You know, and as an actor that can be so frustrating too, and so I'm really excited that somebody's written a show for age ranges, a more considerable age range, and an age range that doesn't get a lot of roles, and that we are also showing audiences that yes, people keep growing and changing and having adventures and having stories, and they're not, you know, happily ever after isn't a thing.
Right.
And that's good.
Yeah, no, it is.
Because it would get boring really fast.
Absolutely. But now seeing it all come together, wow, it is so exciting. And it really is a cool show, and thanks to people like Tara and our great cast and crew. So if you get a chance to see our show, please do. The website address is coming up after the video, SpanYourKidsInheritance.com. You can check out more information about the show, and hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks so much, Tara.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.